Hello, my friend. In today's video, we're going to talk about Cyril Gers, who has turned into a goal-scoring demon after all the criticism about his performance and the talk of signing another striker. We'll also cover the latest updates on the £3 million Puerta deal, Sparta sealing the Romani deal, the latest on Todd Cantwell. Philippe Clement thinks this player will leave Rangers for a much bigger price. And lastly, as always, the trash talker Chris Sutton Blasts Rangers, scoffing at what they may have told the Celtic board. Before I spill the beans, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around until the end so you don't miss any of the nitty-gritty details. So you know how we've been eyeing that Colombian lad Gustavo Puerta? Well, seems like Bayer Leverkusen got a cheeky offer for him, a cool £3 million from Brøndby of all places. Now, we were hoping to sneak him in on loan, but it looks like Brøndby's splashing the cash has thrown a spanner in the works. Leverkusen's got a decision to make, but if they're smart, they might just fancy sending him our way on loan instead, especially since they shelled out £1.5 million for him not too long ago. And with 4 years left on his contract, a little time in Glasgow might be just what the doctor ordered for him. Now here's a kicker. Remember that striker we've been after all summer, Albion Romani? Yeah, well, he's just packed his bags for Sparta Prague. They coughed up £4.25 million to snatch him from Rapid Bucharest, and Rapid's over the moon. They're calling it their biggest transfer ever. But let's be real, they were originally trying to squeeze £8 million out of us for him. A bit cheeky if you ask me. Anyway, Romani's off to Prague, and we'll just have to find our next target. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more interesting, there's buzz from Turkey that Trabzonspor's got their eyes back on our man Todd Cantwell. Apparently, he's not even making the squad these days, didn't play against St. Johnstone, so no surprises there. Could be that they're trying to lure him over like they did with John Lundstrom and Borna Barisic. Some gossip from Manchester. Hannibal, that young midfielder at United, has had enough of sitting on the bench and wants out. He's put in a transfer request, hoping to get his career going somewhere else. United's more keen on selling him than a loan, so who knows, maybe we'll see him popping up on our radar soon. Philippe Clement is starting to make some serious moves at Rangers, and one of his latest gems, Jefte, is already looking like a proper bargain. Now, Clement mentioned that the team would look a bit different by the end of the transfer window, and it seems like that's coming true, whether we planned it or not. We've still got a couple of weeks left to wheel and deal, and even though we've had a few bumps with injuries, Clement's got his eye on bringing in some new blood. But let's talk about Jefte for a moment. After a bit of a wobbly preseason, the lad's starting to show us what he's made of. Pace, power, and that sheer determination to push forward into the final third. It's like watching a young bull charging at anything in its way. Clement's chuffed with him too, especially after our 2-0 win over St. Johnstone. He couldn't stop singing his praises, saying, "Jefte played a very good and dominant game. Big congratulations to our recruitment team for finding a player of that level at that age for that price. In 2 months, I think his value will be much bigger than for the amount that we bought him." And get this, we only shelled out £800,000 for Jefte, which is starting to make the £3.5 million we paid up front for Ridvan Yilmaz seem a bit steep, don't you think? Jefte's only 20 and he's already winning over the fans. He's quick, he's direct, and unlike the now-departed Borna Barisic, who was more likely to pass the ball back than take on an opponent, Jefte's all about driving forward, linking up with the winger, and getting into the box. Even when the ball's on the other side of the pitch, he's pushing up, trying to get into dangerous positions. The lad's got some fire in him, that's for sure. Clement knows that players like Jefte are exactly what he needs to get the kind of football he wants. Creative, goal-scoring, dominant. He's still working with the squad he inherited. But with a few more signings like Jefte, Clement's got the potential to turn this team into something special. So whether he's at left back or on the wing, Jefte's got the makings of a star. And who knows, in a year or two, we might be talking about how much cash he's bringing into the club. Clement might just be on to something here. Cyril Gers, our Nigerian striker, is getting a bit of stick lately, and it's all kicked off after a bit of a kerfuffle at Hampton. So here's the lowdown. Gers made the move to us last summer, costing £4.5 million from Cremonense in Serie A. Now he's been taking a bit of a hammering from the fans, but credit where it's due, the lad's banged in 22 goals across all competitions last season. Not too shabby, right? But as you know, being a Rangers player isn't all sunshine and rainbows, especially when the fans get a bit vocal. On Tuesday night against Dynamo Kiev, Gers didn't have the best moment. He struggled to hold up the ball in attack, and the Hampton crowd let him know it. And did he take it on the chin? Not exactly. Gers wasn't having any of it and ended up reacting pretty furiously, waving his arms about and telling the fans to get behind him instead of jeering. The whole thing was caught on camera, and you can bet the commentators didn't miss a beat. Rob McLean from BBC Scotland had a front row seat to the drama, saying something like, Gers is having a go at the crowd after they jeered him for not keeping the ball. He's waving his arms around and basically shouting, "Come on, give me your support." Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Derek Ferguson, our ex-midfielder, chimed in on the Open Goal podcast with some words of wisdom, or maybe a bit of a warning for Gers. He basically said, "Look, Gers, we were praising you just last week, but you need to be careful, mate. We get that you're giving it your all and might be a bit knackered, but dealing with the fans is part of the job when you're at Rangers. You've got to just take it and move on. Someone needs to have a word with him before he gets himself in deeper trouble. Hell mend you if you keep doing that. You're in for a tough time, I'm telling you." But of course, not everything's as it seems. There's some debate about whether Gers was really having a pop at the fans or if he was actually fuming at the officials. One fan on social media even pointed out that in the clip, you can see Gers making a gesture towards the linesman like he's miming waving a flag. They're saying this whole thing might just be a bit of drama for the sake of it. In the end, whether he was mad at the fans or the officials, Gers has got to keep his cool if he wants to stay on the right side of the Ibrox faithful. Let's just hope he channels that fire into banging in a few more goals for us instead. Chris Sutton's at it again, taking a swing at Rangers and stirring the pot over this whole Old Firm ticket fiasco. So here's the gist. There won't be any away fans at the first 2 Old Firm matches this season, which is a bit of a letdown to say the least. Celtic had initially agreed to give Rangers 2,500 tickets at Parkhead, but then they pulled the plug on that, leaving everyone in a bit of a tiz. Now Sutton's having a go at the Rangers board, suggesting they might have told Celtic to just trust us and everything would be fine on the day. But let's be real, Sutton's not buying it for a second. In his column for the Daily Record, he's laid into Rangers, saying it's a shame we're back in this mess when it looked like things were getting back to normal with these fixtures. Sutton's point is pretty straightforward. If Rangers can't even be upfront with their own fans, how on earth can Celtic trust them to keep their word? He reckons Celtic have done their bit, getting the necessary safety measures in place for the first derby. But he's not so sure about Rangers. He's basically saying, look, if Rangers haven't got their plans sorted and locked in, how can Celtic be sure they'll follow through? And then there's the bit where Sutton's really laying it on thick, suggesting the Rangers board might be telling the Celtic board to just trust them, and everything will be fine on the night. Sutton's response? I don't think so. But here's the thing, mate. Whether you're a Rangers or a Celtic fan, we can all agree it's pretty daft that one of the biggest matches in football is going to be played without away fans. Both sides are pointing fingers, but the real losers here are the supporters who are missing out on what should be an electric atmosphere. Celtic might be within their rights to be a bit wary of the Rangers board, but let's not forget, Rangers haven't exactly given them a reason to doubt their ability to get the stadium ready. Hopefully, all this can get sorted out before the next round of matches, so we can put this mess behind us and get back to enjoying the game the way it's meant to be. I'll be back with more bombastic and exclusive Rangers news at any moment. If you don't want to miss any, just hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. All right? We are the people.